NCIS could uphold a fascinating 21-year franchise trend with its upcoming Tony and Ziva spin-off. The new series will reintroduce flagship NCIS characters Anthony DiNozzo, Michael Weatherly, and Ziva David, Cote de Pablo, sometime in late 2024 or early 2025. Filming is scheduled to begin in summer 2024 in Budapest and other locations around Europe. The spin-off's timeline provides an exciting possibility for NCIS, Tony and Ziva to overlap with the flagship, which is scheduled to return in the fall 2024 to 2025 TV cycle following its renewal for NCIS Season 22. With a franchise as expansive as NCIS, showrunners are able to orchestrate creative ways to utilize their cast of characters, and it could lend itself to Tony and Ziva's story. It's common for NCIS characters from one show to be featured in another, with omnipresent characters like Leroy Jethro Gibbs, Mark Harmon, and director Leon Vance, Rocky Carroll, competing for the NCIS franchise record of appearing in the most shows within the franchise. More than a possibility, it would feel natural for Tony and Ziva to cross over with the flagship series since that's where their characters originated. NCIS should launch its Tony and Ziva spin-off as a backdoor pilot. And it's a serious possibility. One of the most exciting possibilities for the Tony and Ziva spin-off is that it could be launched in the flagship series. It feels obvious that the characters should return to NCIS, since that's where they both got their start. Michael Weatherly was with the cast from its origin and Ziva joined the franchise in NCIS Season 3. To draw attention to the new series and bring back fan-favorite characters to the main series, NCIS should launch its Tony and Ziva spin-off as a backdoor pilot. While the show has already received the green light, it could still mimic the technique to draw attention to the show, with NCIS, Tony and Ziva streaming on Paramount+. Launching the limited series on CBS would uphold the trend of backdoor pilots for the franchise, which has seen a number of their other shows advertised successfully. In a recent TV Line interview, NCIS co-showrunner Steve D. Binder humored the idea of setting up Tony and Ziva on the flagship series. If the Tony and Ziva spin-off decides to go in this direction, it wouldn't be too surprising since DiNozzo made a surprise NCIS return in NCIS Season 21. Michael Weatherly also seemingly confirmed that Cote de Pablo would return in NCIS Season 21 earlier this year after his appearance on the flagship. When de Pablo failed to appear in the previous season, it made the chances of her return to the main series in NCIS Season 22 all the more likely. NCIS started as a backdoor pilot on the legal drama JAG. The original NCIS is a spin-off itself. NCIS and JAG. The flagship NCIS itself started as a backdoor pilot on the television series JAG. The Navy-themed legal drama lasted for 10 seasons, which is substantial, but NCIS outlasted the original show. The backdoor pilot was a two-part feature in JAG Season 8, Episodes 20, Ice Queen, and 21, Meltdown. The episodes introduced key NCIS characters Leroy Jethro Gibbs, Mark Harmon, Anthony DiNozzo, Abby Ciuto, Polly Parrott, and Dr. Mallard, David McCallum, who would all go on to star on NCIS. The characters returned when NCIS launched its opening episode, NCIS Season 1, Episode 1, Yankee White. NCIS continued the trend launching NCIS, Los Angeles and NCIS, New Orleans on NCIS. NCIS launched its first two location-based spin-offs with backdoor pilots. NCIS passed on the trend with its own spin-off shows, NCIS, Los Angeles and NCIS, New Orleans. The backdoor pilot for NCIS, Los Angeles took place in NCIS Season 6, Episodes 22, Legends Part 1, and 23, Legends Part 2. The spin-off introduced key characters from the cast of NCIS, Los Angeles like G. Callan, Chris O'Donnell, Kenzie Bly, Daniela Rua, and Sam Hanna, LL Cool J, as well as the Los Angeles Office of Special Projects. The series launch marked the first spin-off show for NCIS, which witnessed highly trained agents going undercover and working with advanced technology. NCIS continued the trend when it introduced NCIS, New Orleans in NCIS Season 11, Episodes 18, Crescent City Part 1, and 19, Crescent City Part 2. The episodes introduced the cast of NCIS, New Orleans, with Scott Bakula as Dwayne Cassius Pride, the special agent in charge of the New Orleans field office. The spin-off aired for 7 seasons, but ultimately, it was the first NCIS series to end in 2021. The same year, CBS launched NCIS, Hawaii but opted not to present it with a backdoor pilot. Likewise, NCIS, Sydney premiered in 2023 without any exposition on the flagship. NCIS tested another spin-off with the backdoor pilot for NCIS, Red. But the spin-off wasn't picked up for its own show. G. Callan, Chris O'Donnell, with the NCIS Red team lead. While NCIS backdoor pilot method is a tried-and-true test of what will work for the franchise, it's also a proven way of weeding out what won't work. There's one NCIS spin-off that's not often talked about, and that's because it didn't get picked up after its backdoor pilot on the Los Angeles-based series. NCIS Red was tested in NCIS Los Angeles Season 4, Episodes 18, Red, and 19, Red 2. NCIS Red marked a fourth-generation spin-off for the franchise, as it was launched from NCIS Los Angeles, which was a spin-off of the flagship NCIS, which itself was JAG's spin-off. NCIS Red introduced characters like Paris Summerskill, portrayed by Kim Raver, who was special agent in charge of the NCIS Red team. The backdoor pilot also introduced John Corbett as former NCIS Special Agent Roy Haynes. The Red team was one of several mobile units for the NCIS, each given a color to identify their team. If the series had been picked up, Raver would have been the first female lead of an NCIS team in one of the franchise's spin-offs. That honor now belongs to Vanessa Lachey of NCIS Hawaii.